So if you guys don't know, this Friday is going to be the first cup of the official Pro League. There's a new pro circuit in TFT, elevated compared to the previous set of events. Last year and the year before that, we did cups. Now we're doing a pro circuit. And that pro circuit guarantees that you go to regionals, and how you do per tournament event gives you points throughout the set, which is 3 cups. And there's a lot more prize money. And it qualifies you to different parts of regionals. And it matters. It matters because they relegate a lot of spots. They relegate like 20 spots or something like that. Basically, getting to tier 1 is going to be hard to stay in it. So it's really important that you do well in these 3 events. And also, I quite frankly just don't even have time to deal with people who just say it's Mickey Mouse Cup. Like there's only like 1.5 persons that even have the right to say that, like Soju, and I still don't like when he says that personally. But if he says it's a Mickey Mouse Cup, I mean he can say that while he's playing in tier 2. Anyways, the new tier 1 TPC circuit, America's tier list. Okay, so we have the S tier, A tier, B tier, and then C tier. S tier are defined as like the top dogs of the region, just straight up. Like, and this one can be people that can go in no question, right? Like Dish Soap and Wage Iverson, so on and so forth. The A tier are people who are like strong players who just need that one run, one read, one day of games. They're like good players. They can do well. It just kind of like they're not as consistent as the top, but they're quite good. And those are some players that I'll be talking about a lot. B tier are players who are like dark horses who are not the most consistent, but can be solid. And then the C tier are just like the straight up underdogs who need to improve quickly or have the God run. And these are some people who are just generally like, they know they're outmatched. An easy example would be in EMEA. It's Revan. Like, I think Revan's like an underdog. Like, example would be like Revan, XC. But like this guy is putting in a lot of work to try to get to a good spot. So I have faith in that. So the way I think we could do this is go through each of these individuals and just place them in different spots. So I think the first person here is Toronto Tokyo. I think Toronto Tokyo is really inconsistent, but sometimes when he's on a hot streak and he has the read, and he's not tilting, he actually has really, really high peaks. And I think that he actually is quite an explosive player. The issue is that I think he's literally like either first or eighth. Like sometimes this guy is like posting 40 bombs and the next day he's posting 15. So I think he goes into this B tier because he has to increase his baseline consistency. Milk is a player at his peak is S tier. But the issue with Milk is that he's actually traveling a lot of Asia right now, and he's not even focused on the game. Okay, I can read you the most recent messages from Milk. Wait, SRS is the wave real? I don't want to roll like an idiot for fun, huh? And then hold on, and then that's not it. That's not it. Can someone here just tell me if the shops are bugged or not, please? I don't have enough games to know shit. Spencer, it's bugged. Ride the wave. Okay's business. So Dish Soap is just noob tricking. Dish Soap says dench. Milk says, wait, seriously, can someone just tell me? WTF is this, man? I think the only way to talk to Milk is to rage bait. What? Can someone just tell me? Everyone knows but you. So like this is kind of the state that Milk's in. He's not practicing TFT. He like doesn't know what's going on. And right now he's literally just like lost about shop odds and he just keeps thinking like, should I be rolling or not? So I think Milk is probably bottom of A, top of B. And I think that right now, the reason why I'm going to put him in B tier is because his goal is to actually be middle of the pack this set because he wants to travel Asia and get a lot of life experience. Right now, I think he's in Indonesia. Sorry. Now I think he's in Singapore. He just left Indonesia and he's going to be going to Japan. And so he's going to be playing abroad, not getting the best practice. So it might kind of looks weird that I'm putting Milk so low, but I think Milk is a B tier right now. Artix, I think, is probably one of the underdogs. I think he had like 1 or 2 good runs last set and he made regionals, but it was sort of like a big flash in the pan that shined really bright. And I like Artix, just like talking to him in the interview. But I think what I've seen out of him since has not been terribly impressive. So I think that he is one of the underdogs here. And I do think that like he has a good practice group because he's part of Broseph and Dank Memes and Kai Wang, the kitchen group. So he definitely can improve. And I think he is, you know, I think he's a pretty hard worker. But I also think he's part-time TFT. So I'm not sure how dedicated he is in it though. He's going to drop from the pro circuit. I don't know. Milk's goal is literally like, I mean, I could write it down, but like told me his goal this set is to avoid relegation. And that's it. Toronto Tokyo, very streaky and cable and hot cold player. I mean that's just baseline. Ardix is need more than 1 or 2 tournament runs to prove he belongs. Taliant. I don't really know much about Taliant actually. This is a Brazilian player, right? One of the lesser known BR players for me. So I think it's like, I actually don't really know that much about him, but I think Taliant like barely made it to Pro League, and I might have to mix up with someone else, but I think in general, some of the BR players were at the very top. There's a pretty big gap. I think the top players in Brazil are quite solid, but I also think that the people who are like tier 2 in Brazil are not at the same at tier 2 in NA, and I think that's where Tulian is right now. Okay, who do we have next? We have Babzera. Babzera, I think, is right here around Milk tier. Couple of great sets, couple of stinker sets. Babzera's had sets where like he looked good, and there's other sets where he looked like he flamed out really hard day 1, couldn't make it out of trials. He was also #1 in points in Brazil back in set 11. He's also had days where it just looked like he was completely lost in the meta read. So just need a little bit more baseline consistency from him. Michael at his peak is actually a solid player. This guy is LATAM's best player ever, but quit early set 14 and needs to get back in form. I don't think it's controversial, right? Michael is currently LATAM's #1 player ever. But the thing is, he actually like quit set 14, and I don't know how good form he is in right now. Milk is in Singapore, yeah. If you guys are in Singapore right now, he's looking for TFT people to hang out with, so yeah. Dehua. Dehua, and this is in no order, by the way. Dehua right now is struggling to get the challenger. Mental may be boomed because of the cult. Dehua is like Dehua is actually one of the players who started the shopped odds are rigged conspiracy. And I think like if you guys don't know, let's see, Dehua, he was like basically saying like I'm schizo posting. Where is it? I feel like schizo posting, but I have complete unfounded theory that something is bugged in certain reroll things, right? So he posted this, and then Mortdog replied to it, and that's how it caught fire. But also, Dehua kind of like has been jokingly saying that he's been kind of stuck. Also, I think in scrims so far, I don't know if he's been performing the best. I can actually let's see. Do they have the document? Okay, let's look at the scrims from earlier. But I remember reading like the day 1 scrims, and Dehua placed like in the bottom percentile as well. How about day 2? Did he play? The thing is, I like Dehua a lot. He was actually one of my favorite people that he popped off today. Okay, 34, not bad. He's one of my favorite people that I hung out with at Worlds SF14. I like him a lot, so I hope he does well. But I'm still putting him in C for now. Also, I feel like he does well when he's underestimated. Okay, Wajan Iverson. I mean, this guy Wajan Iverson, currently #1 in NA. And it may not be debatable at the moment, but for now. But I'm pretty sure like anyone who's not saying Wajan's #1 is probably just going off of like just their fandom or their peak, like the legacy. And I say that as a person that basically like can't wait to glaze dish soap every which way. But Wajan in general has just been kind of on the grind, and his consistency has just been kind of crazy. If you actually just look at it going back, like outside of winning the world championship, this guy's consistency is #1 in North America. So like I would say dish soap is #1 historically, but at the moment I think I would have to pick Wajan as #1. Philip is actually kind of just like sort of lucky to be here. I think Philip is actually the first beneficiary of Spencer getting banned last set. So I think Philip He kind of basically has the same problem as Toronto Tokyo. Sometimes this guy is completely on it, and this guy's a complete beast. But sometimes it's just not his patch. And I think that Philip he basically wavers between being like the good, flexible, open, knowledgeable player that I think in his mind he knows is theoretically good TFT, and sometimes he just becomes a strat amp one trick and climb, and like because he just has to climb. And I think that like that dynamic nature creates a lot of volatility in his play. So I mean, I'm not really like tiering people, like organizing between tier right now, so I'm just gonna put it here. But like similar to TT, streaky, but can go on good runs. So Bio, I think this guy actually is really underrated. I think that I would say I'll probably put him here. I'll probably say he's BR's most underrated top tier player. Because this guy has actually proven that he can compete at the regionals level, and I do think that he like has moments historically in the past where like he looked a little bit shaky technically, but I think overall you can't really argue with his results where he made 3 world championships out of Americas after the merge. Like after the merge, he did it, and he also made it by going deep in the regionals bracket. So like this guy, I think, has done pretty well. Now the thing is, I don't know if he had a good set last set. I think last set he struggled a lot, but he even made top 8 at Worlds in set 13, right? Like overall, and when he makes it to Worlds, he doesn't even do badly. He gets 14th, 15th, 7th. And a lot of players, they make it to Worlds and they just go like 38th and whatnot. So I think Bio is quite solid. Quintanilla, again, is this actually kind of similar to like, I'm going to put him next to Talian because it's the same thing. Quintanilla, same as Taliant. A bit too unknown for me. And I need to study more. This is on me. I need to study him a little bit more. Robin songs. Okay, I'm gonna say this now. Robin songs. He's A tier. I'm gonna say he's NA most underrated top player. I think people like really underestimate Robin because of like his influencer mode. But I think Robin actually might be the most underrated player because most people assume that he's just like doing things for fun and content. But his baseline consistency is really, really high. He rarely ever gets day one. I think if I'm like in a fantasy league playing for the pro circuit, I think Robin's actually a very good pick because I think he basically always comes prepared. And also I think this set in particular, he's like really dialed in because he played EWC. I think that because EWC, and I think that's like a really important aspect because Robin hasn't actually spent a lot of time streaming this set. He actually hasn't spent a lot of time streaming. He's actually spent a lot of time practicing at EWC, and he had to be in really good personal form. And I think that some players can't adjust that quickly. Some players struggle to adjust from 44 to solos, but I don't think that is the case. Robin's actually a really adaptable player, even if he's old. He might actually be low key one of the most adaptable players patch after patch. He's just very, very consistent. Darth. Okay, so I actually at one point started putting Darth in A tier, but I kind of think he's around here, which I think Darth is Darth is like almost another Toronto Tokyo where I keep saying like he's streaky, but like Gangly likes to throw out the fact that Darth Noob's career AVP is pretty weak. Career AVP is low, and that's because like some events he goes dead last, but he's good. He's very, very good. And Darth has good ladder history and whatnot. He also has tech usually when it comes to tournaments. He's a really smart math guy. He's a really strong player. So like the stats don't like back him up, but I think Darth is very solid. Where do you put Soju? I'll get there. He's on the list. Don't worry. Tech Summers. I think Tech Summers probably like I kept putting Tech Summers in like D tier or something like that. I don't think he's there. I think Tech Summers is like has like weak line selection at times, which makes him vulnerable. But he has good work ethic, I think, and I think Tex actually is a player that people underestimate now because he's had like a lot of moments where like some of the games that he's played has blown up on his face. But I think if he fixes some of his line selection, I don't really like hate some of the ideas that he brings to the table, and he also does think about TFT pretty in depth. So, Cambulee, a World's Finals lobby, set 14 for a reason. Still improving and getting and he's a threat. I think if you aren't paying attention to Cambulee at this point, I mean, he's one of the best performing players in set 11, and he's one of the best performing in set 14. He's shown over a year long that he's consistent, and like, yeah, he's not maybe like winning the world championships, but he was right. He was in the conversation too. So there's that. Prestivan, I think actually is here. I think Prestivan has made a pretty significant leap, made a big leap recently. And also the thing that I think helps Prestivan the most is that he has no ego, practices with EU and Apex elites. And I think that like is he actually spending a lot of time with Prestivan from Vitality. I think that Prestivan has a really strong chance to just overtake everyone else on Vitality and be the most accomplished player simply because I think he wants it the most. I don't get the desire, I don't get the hunger from Soju. I don't see the hunger from Setsuko, and I definitely don't see it out of Milk. But Prestivan's the guy that like wants it the most. He cares about winning these cups. He cares about doing well. He wants to get back to Worlds. Like for him, he's the last person on this list that would call it Mickey Mouse. He's a big tryhard. So he actually really, really wants to do well, and I think he has a really good practice group. He's a new practice group. He's practicing with literally the best of the best in EU and APAC, like Coco, Double 61, YBY, and it's like I think that he's like in this inner circle, and I think that working with him in Vitality, I can confidently say that it wouldn't surprise me if President is part of a top 3 in NA eventually, and I think that he's putting in the hours as well. Okay. What Dehua says? A lot more people are in the scrim groups now. Oh no. I'm talking about like he's in like the people he talks to about TFT. Unless you're in that group and talking about it. I'm talking about like people who he talks to and learn from about TFT. Okay, where are we at? Bosso skills. It feels kind of weird. I feel like I'm putting their entire group around this tier. And I basically had almost the same thing to say about them, which is like, when Bosso skills, when he has the read, it's usually like Bosso skills usually goes like, how do I describe it? Loves to be counter meta and is often wrong, but hits hard when he hits, or like goes far when he hits. Like the funny thing about Bosso skills is that like he's wrong a lot about the meta, but like when he's like right about it, he's like super right, and he has a good. I think it was like reflected in like set 13 when he like did really well at Macau, for example. So I think Bosso skills is a pretty reliable player when he's like locked in. Mac Meno, I think he did all right. I think Mac Meno has done well in a couple events, but overall still need more from him. Like it's just basically he's done well in a couple events. He's done well enough to get here, but not terribly impressive in the macro. Bobster I think is like he had a really good set 12. He was the #1 QP earner in set 12 and made it to Worlds that way. And then last set he also did pretty well. So I think that's a really important interval to like measure that he had a good 12, a terrible 13, and then an amazing 12, a terrible 13, and a good set 14. So I think I want to put him like bottom of A, top of B. The thing is, like, I think basically, I think I should go off of recent. So I think Bobster is like, if you count out season 13, he's very much one of the most consistent NA players. Like, if you actually just factor out like a couple of, and set 13 was only 2 tournaments. It was Macau and then 2 cups, and then we went to regionals. And so like if you just count out like those 2 cups, Bobster's actually been very, very consistent. Also, one thing I really like about Bobster is that he actually plays really weird stuff all the time. He's like Like last set, he was one of the few people willing to reroll one cost when almost no one was rerolling one. What was the one cost reroll? I forgot. Broseph. Broseph is right around here. I would say he's NA's most improved player in the past year. Also, he's like the Twitter content G. Like, I think this guy is he's the guru right now on Twitter. If there's one person that I would say you should follow on Twitter for content about TFT, it's this guy. Because first of all, he has a 0% noob trick rate. I think that's a really important thing for reliability. And also, he can back it up. And he's also very honest about things, too. Sometimes he's just like, yeah, I'm not sure. May have to test it myself. And he's willing to sit down and educate people about it. So I think he's studying to get his education degree. And it really shows whenever he's trying to teach it. I think Dehua is too high on the tier list. Hold on. We have to get there. I haven't even reordered anything. J or C. Okay, I'm not as high on this guy as the other players. I'm gonna put J or C here. JC. Passes a lot of people's eye test, but he only had 1.5 good tournaments. So and I think that like he in the 1.5 tournaments that he had, he looked really good. But I would say that I need to see more out of it, right? Like I need to see more out of that baseline consistency. I would say Kurum is basically here as well. I would say Kurum X is like, I think he's like the gatekeeper of B tier, of this tier, because I would say that Kurum, he either he's like the very, very bottom of A or the top of B, because his consistency baseline is not actually there anymore. In the past, in like 3 years ago, Kurum was like part of the Robin Songs club of like, okay, they're always consistent. They always move day after day. But now it's more like Kurum goes on hot streaks and cool streaks. He kind of has become like a player who usually either keeps posting the really good AVP, or sometimes he's like triple digits, hard stuck, getting trials and not even advancing. And so like that, I'm not entirely sure which version of Kurum shows up these days. I think he's doing okay so far on ladder this set. I think I remember like looking at his profile. Let me see. Where's Kurum? Yeah, I mean, he's doing pretty well. Like, again, 800 is actually quite good right now on the ladder at the moment. So definitely not bad, especially on Super Server. So yeah, we'll see. And like gatekeeper of this tier of the bottom of A / top of B, like basically the definition of hot cold right now. It just kind of depends. He plays too safe when he's in press spot. Yeah, that's also true too. I think another good summary of his like needs to iron out bad habits. I think that's definitely another way you can describe Kurum. He has like a couple of like old habits that he needs to kick, and he knows to try and get rid of them. And he gets really frustrated whenever he's talking about it in an interview. Put Ilya in Z tier, bro. We're not talking about EU right now. Pokygam's baseline is very high. I would probably say Pocky is here at his peak. But like the only thing is high everyone knows his potential but lacks the work ethic. I think Pocky is actually just not a hard worker at all when it comes to TFT. He like gets by off the fact that he's already naturally gifted at reading the meta. He's an independent thinker. And he's usually a player that doesn't have to get by through volume. But, okay, lacking work ethic makes him sound really bad. But I would probably say, like, but doesn't put in the time often. I think that's probably the better way to describe it. And I don't know if Pokygam is actually putting in the time again. Let me see. Where is he at the moment? Is he even playing ladder? Oh, is he under, is he under a different username? I can't even find him. Is he even playing the game? But is he even playing this set? Like, I don't even know. Okay, people in chat, is Pokygam even playing in this set? Do you guys even know? If not, then I think I'm just gonna put him here. Shrug. He's playing I Love Auto Fister. 218 games, 442. Okay, so not the highest at the moment. So I mean, I'm gonna keep the fact that I don't even know, I think, is pretty much everything you know. Setsuko, I think if you ever put Setsuko out of S tier, you just probably are either a hater or you haven't watched him play enough. Even at his worst, his natural talent always shines through. And I think also the thing about that's not even a good way to describe it. Because he's not even in bad form right now. Somehow people have ignored his recent consistency. Still one of the top. Still at the top. If you actually look at Setsuko, his tournament history in the past like year, when he plays in tournaments, this guy goes really far. But the problem is he doesn't show up for tournaments, man. He literally gets DQ'd or banned or doesn't check in. But if you look at his past, let's look at his past like 8 tournaments. Worlds, 12th. That's pretty damn good. 5th at regionals, also really good. Okay, let's not talk about UWC. Tacticians Cup number 2, 5th, really good. Trials 2, did he even play in Trials 2? Was this the one? Oh no, I think okay, maybe he got Trials. And then that's it. That's all he played in set 12 and set 13. Then or set 13, he played in Golden Spatula. He got the regionals 21st. Then he got in Cup, he went 5th. Then at Macau for set 13, he got 9th. Then at Tactician Cup number 1, he got 14th, and top 16 is quite solid. That makes it far on day number 3. Then in set 11, he made it to 9th for regionals. Then set 11 and Cup number 3 made it to 6th. So like I'm going past the past 8 cups. He's actually been still very, very high up and like always a threat to make final lobby. So I think the Setsuko haters on Reddit probably just haven't been paying that close attention because, and I don't blame them because he doesn't even show up half the time for a variety of reasons, but he's still there. Marcel is probably where Kurum and Darth Noob is. Marcel is like rapidly improving a lot. I think he's like putting in a lot of time in. Amazing work ethic. I think Marcel really invests in the correct way and is very smart about it. But he's still missing something. And I don't know what that is. He's still missing like something about like the it factor in TFT. And when I say the it factor, it's like there's like almost like a defining thing about a lot of these players that make them make a bigger jump. And I haven't really seen that yet from Marcel. And I don't, and it's not like he has to have that. But I think it's like why in my mind Marcel hasn't broken through, because I think he hasn't found his groove yet competitively. And you know, if you listen to Marcel through his content, through his stream, some of his journey, you kind of hear a lot about how he even has self-doubt, whether or not he can even make it, right? He quit his job to pursue full-time TFT. It was very hot, cold. He was like basically saying like, should I even keep pursuing this? Then he qualified for Pro League on his last effort, and now he's staying in. So he's kind of still like, he's kind of like he's kind of on an interesting intersection of his TFT journey where like things continue to blossom and spike out and spike. Or if he falls out of Pro League, we might not see and hear from him for a while again, because he might go back to the workforce. So that's like one of those things where he's at a really important juncture in his TFT career. And I like Marcel a lot as a person. I think very highly of him, both like in and out of the game. Despite the meta TFT anomaly stats drama, I think he's a really good guy. I don't even think that was like a question of his character. I think that was just like an innocent mistake. He's a really good guy. But let's see if this like defining moment in his career, because if Marcel drops out of tier 1, I think he just quits TFT, because I think he has quite a lucrative, as far as I know, Marcel has a very lucrative job he left from Google. He was like an AI engineer. And as you guys know, in the race of AI right now, it's like people are making a lot of money. And so he's giving that up because he's giving that up to do like no money stuff, like to play TFT, man. So he's it's important that he like shows up, you know? It's important that he shows up because I think he's giving up a lot to be here. I see Marcel's pivot game is quite not there yet compared to other top dog, much less relevant. Yeah, that could be it. There's like elements of it. There's like elements. It's not like one thing. I think he needs to put together something like and to make his gameplay really stand out. I think, to put another way, I don't see Marcel doing anything particularly better than a lot of the players above him. But he's also not a bad player at all. I think for Marcel right now, he's in like the correct a bunch of my mistakes mode. Vapakasa, kind of the same thing as Macmeno. I think Vapakasa actually did pretty well. I would probably put him right around like Bab0 tier. Vapakasa. This is Kopiko, right? Underrated BR player. Just basically like has actually had several great performances, and I think that he's just solid here. Cash, I think, is less consistent. I think Cash has Cash has actually done pretty well on ladder. So I would say like Cash is probably here. Does very well on ladder, both BR and NA actually. I think Cash is top 5, top 10 in North America last set on ladder, like consistently. But tournaments is 50-50 at the moment. Sometimes he does well, sometimes he crashes out. Seraphine and Star Guardians is OP. I mean, I could see that in the next patch. Tunington is like in this Arctics tier for me, which is like it's almost the same thing, like same thing as Arctics, which is like I just need to see a little bit more to prove that he belongs. Like a lot of the C tier again are like people who can improve and might improve a lot, but I just need to see more before I can like move them up. 100 Thieves dish soap. I mean, I do order this right now. Dish soap. I mean, the TFT GOAT will always show up prepared. Never bet against him. Like, you just like, I don't even know what to really say. You can't really bet against Dish soap. This guy is the guy. He is the TFT guy. Also runs a great website, I heard. Replay. I mean, do I have to sit here and glaze Dish soap? I mean, I don't feel like I have to say much about him. He always shows up prepared. Basically, you know the thing about this is that these guys always show up prepared, except for sometimes Setsuko. But like even then, Setsuko will always deliver. But there's no question right now. Dish soap is the TFT go, and I don't even think that's. Some people say title, but like I don't see that way at the moment. But of course, I'm biased. Replay. I actually think I'm gonna probably say something a little controversial, but I think replay is probably the bottom of B tier, only because this guy, I don't even think he's playing TFT anymore. Is he even playing 100 Thieves? Replay. Is he even playing the game? I don't think he's played a single game on his main this set, so he's not even playing the game. I think it might even be generous to put him in B tier. He just plays a few games of scrims. He's exiting out of TFT right now. I believe he's like trying to just like, I think he made the pro league. He's gonna play in it, but I don't think he's invested anymore. And I think he's trying to exit. So everyone knows his peak. Everyone knows what he's capable of, but he's exiting TFT. So like he's not even playing. He's not even playing. So maybe bottom of B, like C is probably still a little bit too disrespectful, but I have no clue. I'm just gonna. I feel like he just needs to improve quickly. It's a possibility that he doesn't even know what is good in the set, but I don't know. Maybe bottom of B. Like he's a world champion. Come on, man. Let's just show a little bit of respect. Okay, Greya. Greya is either bottom of S or top of A. I'm just gonna put him here. I would say post region merge has been a top 5 performer every set. He's also, I think also Greya showed some intangibles during like the EWC run. I think he was Team Liquid's best player. And I think that in general, this guy is, I mean, I believe the hype, right? Pokegam hyped him for a reason. And I think that he, like, if a couple of things went a little bit differently from him, he would have been the #1 point earner, right? Wait, was he the #1 point earner? Oh, right. He barely missed Worlds. He didn't actually make it to Worlds because of, like, everything that happened, right? Or did he? Am I misremembering? Like, Greya was basically in the perfect spot to make Worlds because he won the first cup and he won the second, and he did well at the 11th cup, and then he missed. It was a bit rough. Okay, so I would say that I'm gonna put it here. Where's Greg? Greg is in Utah. So I would say that Grea post merge has been a top 5 performer every set he plays, but he also doesn't play every set. After set 11, he actually didn't play set 12. He went from set 11 to straight to set 12. He skipped set 12, played a little bit of set 13, and then played set 14, but kind of narrowly missed. So I would say Grea's right here. He's very, very good. I think it's him. These three. I mean, I think Precedent isn't there yet, so I'm going to put this in this order. And then Spencer, but Spencer's not here. Last but not least, we have VIT K3 Soju. VIT K3 Soju. And all I need to do is pull up his profile. You guys will see what I'm talking about. K3 Soju, the past 100 games for 8 days, is literally hovering in the same LP range. This guy is for funning. I look over at his stream. This guy is not taking the game seriously at all, man. He's not even a little bit. This guy's playing center reroll on ladder. Like what is this? This guy is just straight up for funny. Like what can he lock in? Has he played a single scrim? Has he played a single scrim? I don't think so. I think he's too busy watching the CS:GO EWC event and betting the house. and now he lost his house. In the words of K Juicy, I lost my house. He worked too hard for EWC. But I will say that EWC sets, Soju he did as hard as he could for EWC. I think he did prep. Okay, like EWC, just like to say it on the record, we weren't as good as we could have been individually. We definitely could have been better. And the approach, we were taken aback. Like, we were surprised by how much the meta shifted on a daily basis, and that caught us off guard. We weren't prepared, and we need to be more prepared going into the event. So if we were to redo it, we would have different preparation. But I would say that, like, Soju, once again, blames himself way too much, and I think that he takes shoulders of responsibility when he didn't need to. I actually think that he did great, all things considering, but obviously he could be better. That being said, for this upcoming set of events, I think that the EWC prep will show. So I think a lot of people will probably put Soju in like C tier or whatever, like improve or have a god run. But I'm pretty sure Soju is actually like right here. I would say Soju is like still retains that EWC form, or if he can retain that EWC form. I mean, the thing is, he's not taking this seriously, though. He can make that deep run, but he's not even scrimming right now. I mean, that's pretty much it, right? I'm gonna put him right here at the top of B tier. I think hidden doing likely is to say hidden doing as likely as Kurim and Marcel sounds about right to me. One thing about Soju I can see is his mind is less sharp than before. Well, I mean, he's just getting older, man. This guy's almost 30. Also, I mean, he hates when I say that, by the way. Like, I probably should stop saying that because I think it almost legitimately bothers him now. But I would say that a lot of it is because he's not sleeping regularly, and he's also streaming for 20 hours. When your mind, of course, when you stream 20 hours in a row, and is he streaming right now? Tell me he's streaming right now. If you're streaming 20 hours in a row and you have to just like read chat where all they do is spam nonsense emotes, police, GM, not safe, yap barrier activated, I can't, Kate Juicy, like you just read this, your brain just literally, you just get stupider. Your brain just literally rots in real time. Yeah, of course he's not as sharp as before. Did you see what he's put up with? Yeah, so overall, I think this is my, this is not like I might visually parse this out and make it, but this is my full list. I probably should visually like map it out on a tier list, but I think this is like my preview for this upcoming event on Friday. So hope you guys tune in. Hope you guys enjoyed that. And that's probably just going to be the end of my stream today because I am tired, guys. I'm very, very tired.